And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? These final verses of Revelation chapter 6 cover the entirety of the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, going all the way up to the day in which the true Christ will return at the seventh trumpet, the seventh vial, and immediately after the silence in heaven about the space of half an hour written of in the seventh seal, which is why in the last three verses we see what will happen to those who will fail to repent before the seventh angel sounds, when all flesh will be changed into spiritual bodies, causing those who were deceived into thinking Satan was Jesus' return to want the mountains and rocks to fall on them and hide them out of shame. It's at that time they'll realize they have been deceived into worshiping Satan instead of Christ, which again is what Antichrist means. Returning to Mark chapter 13, but when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where he ought not, being a more accurate translation, let him that readeth understand. Daniel 9:27 is one of the verses where you can read about the abomination of desolation, which is Satan when he appears as the Antichrist at 666, the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, when his image will be transmitted throughout the globe. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains, and let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house, and let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, meaning those who will be impregnated with Satan's deception, and to them that give suck, which means spreading Satan's deception one to another in those days. In other words, woe to those who will receive the mark of the beast in their right hand or in their forehead, which is what giving suck and being with child means, and will fail to repent before the true Christ returns 2.5 months after Satan appears as the false Christ. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. As we know from Matthew 13, the harvest is the end of the world, and to be harvested in winter means to be harvested out of season by the false Messiah. For in those days shall be affliction such as was not since the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. This affliction is the great tribulation that begins when the true Christ returns at the seventh trumpet, immediately after the 5-month-long hour of temptation, when the day of the Lord begins. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, meaning the 7 days of Daniel's 70th week, which are symbolic of years, which are now shortened to 5 months, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And Satan will appear as the Antichrist in the middle of the 5-month-long hour of temptation. As we know from Revelation chapter 8, verse 13, there are 3 woe trumpets. The woe of the 5th trumpet is when Satan and his angels are cast to earth. The woe of the 6th trumpet is when Satan appears as the Antichrist, and the woe of the 7th trumpet is when the true Christ returns. And then, if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or Lo, he is there, believe him not. For false Christs and false prophets shall rise, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. But take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things.